Now I wish I would have listened to my mom. I wish I never would have had sex before marriage. I absolutely wish I didn't. Because what I started to see is that what was happening in my marriage was now whatever I had attached to each person that I slept with, there was something that I attached to each person. If they slept with multiple people, you'll be attached to that. For instance, the guy that I was telling you about who was cheating a lot, when I was in a relationship with that person, I was depressed and sad. And there were some times where I felt suicidal, and I never felt that before. But then I realized, and I learned later, he was having sex with people who were going through depression and suicide and stuff and all of that. And that was attaching. All of those spirits now were attaching to me. And we don't understand that now we become a collection of these spirits. So now when we go into our marriage, now these spirits are rattled because they're not living the sin that they used to be able to live in freely. Now we're here and they're rattled and they're trying to dismantle what's happening in your marriage, but you are bringing all of this into your marriage. And so there became a time to where the intimacy with me and my husband was fractured because the spirits that I had from previous relationships, and it wasn't like me thinking about nobody or anything like that, but it started to be to where they were coming into my dreams. That person was coming to my dreams, bad memories of that person or what I dealt with. And it was all entering my dreams. And it was like, it just made me become shelled. That should be reserved for your marriage because you don't know what you are taking into your marriage. And now all of these identities that have a piece of you or where you have merged in, all of that has to be dismantled in your marriage. It's like people may think, yeah, God's giving me a new identity like you were saying earlier. That is not easy because now what I don't realize is that I'm grieving the bits and pieces that I lost by having sex with all of these people. I didn't even realize I was still attached to that. But now that grieving is taking place, and you know what it is. When you grieve, you go through the ups and downs of your emotions. Then it starts to become this guilt. Then it starts to become this shame. I dealt with shame really bad. And it was in my marriage and I didn't know why. And then it hit me when I was really studying the Word of God. And I believe I was in I was in Exodus at the time because I was reading about Moses and teaching on Moses and how Moses dealt with shame as well. And so I realized that I was dealing with shame. And so a lot of times I didn't show up in my marriage because I was really ashamed of what I did prior to my husband. This is why we have to be very mindful of stewardship in our life, of how we steward our bodies, of how we steward our relationships.